Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that a lot of you have been asking about: how to confidently start a conversation with a girl, and more importantly, keep her genuinely interested without feeling like you're trying too hard. I know it can feel daunting. You see someone you'd like to talk to, but your mind goes blank. What do you say? How do you avoid that awkward silence? Trust me, we've all been there. But the good news is, it's a skill you can learn. It's not about memorizing cheesy pickup lines or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about being genuine, observant, and a good listener. So, grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's break down 5 simple, effective steps that will help you connect with people effortlessly. First things first, let's talk about step 1, the observational opener. Forget generic lines like, "Hey, how are you?" or "Come here often." They're boring, and they put all the pressure on her to carry the conversation. Instead, take a moment to observe your surroundings and the person you want to talk to. Is she reading a book, wearing a t-shirt of a band you like, waiting in the same long coffee line as you? Use that shared context as your opening. For example, if you're at a coffee shop, you could say, "Wow, this line is epic. Their cold brew must be legendary. Have you tried it before?" Or if you notice her book, "Oh, I've heard great things about that author. How are you liking it so far?" This approach is brilliant for 2 reasons. First, it shows you're present and observant. Second, it's a low-pressure way to start a chat because it's about a shared situation, not directly about her or you. It feels natural and gives her an easy, specific topic to respond to. So, the next time you want to approach someone, take a deep breath, look around, and find that one simple thing you can comment on. It's the smoothest entry into any conversation. All right, now that you've broken the ice with a great observational opener, we move to step 2. Ask open-ended questions. This is where you transform a simple exchange into a real conversation. The enemy of a good chat is the yes or no question. If you ask, "Do you like this coffee shop?" she can just say yes, and you're back at square one. Instead, you want to ask questions that invite a story, an opinion, or a feeling. These are questions that typically start with what, how, or why. Following our coffee shop example, after she replies to your opener, you could ask, "That's cool. What's your usual go-to coffee order?" Or "How did you end up finding this place?" See the difference? These questions can't be answered with a single word. They encourage her to share a little bit about herself, her tastes, and her experiences. This is how you start to build a connection. It shifts the focus from a simple Q&A to a dynamic exchange of information. Remember, the goal is to get to know her, and you can't do that with closed questions. So, practice turning your questions into invitations for her to share more. Now we're getting into the really important stuff. Step 3 is possibly the most crucial of all: active listening and genuine curiosity. You can have the best openers and the most brilliant questions in the world, but if you're not actually listening to her answers, the conversation will fall flat. Active listening isn't just waiting for your turn to speak. It's about hearing what she says, processing it, and showing that you've understood. A great way to do this is by offering follow-up statements or questions based on her response. If she tells you she discovered the coffee shop because she's exploring new neighborhoods, don't just move on. Be curious. You could say, "Oh, that's awesome. What other cool spots have you found around here?" Or, "That sounds like a fun project. What inspired you to start exploring?" This shows her that you're not just running through a script. You're genuinely interested in her life and her stories. People love to feel heard and seen. When you show authentic curiosity, you make them feel valued, and that's incredibly attractive. It makes them want to keep talking to you. So, put your phone away, make eye contact, and truly listen. It's the secret ingredient to keeping any conversation flowing. Okay, let's talk about step 4. Share about yourself, but don't monopolize. A great conversation is a two-way street, like a game of tennis. You ask a question, she answers, and then you relate it back to yourself in a balanced way. If you only ask questions, it can start to feel like an interview. But if you only talk about yourself, you'll come across as self-absorbed. The key is to find the right balance. After she answers your question, find a natural point to share a relevant, brief story or opinion of your own. For example, if she says she loves hiking, you could respond with, "That's so cool. I went hiking up near the lake last month, and the view was incredible. Have you ever been to that trail?" By sharing a small piece of your own experience, you're building common ground and giving her more information about who you are. This is called the Ask-Share-Ask method. You ask a question, you listen to her answer, you share something related about yourself, and then you can pivot back to asking another question. This creates a comfortable give-and-take rhythm. It shows you're not just there to extract information, you're there to connect as an equal and build a rapport. It makes the conversation feel like a partnership. We've arrived at our final and most important step for leaving a lasting positive impression. Step 5. Know how to end on a high note. Every good conversation has to end, and how you end it is just as important as how you start it. You don't want to let the energy fizzle out until you both stuck in an awkward silence. Instead, be the one to guide the conversation to a graceful conclusion while it's still enjoyable. Pay attention to the flow. When you feel the energy is at its peak, you've both laughed. You've found some common ground. That's a perfect time to wrap it up. You can say something like, "Well, I should probably get going, but I've really enjoyed chatting with you." This is confident and shows you have other things going on in your life. Then, if you've been having a great time and you feel a connection, this is your moment to suggest continuing the conversation later. Be direct and casual. Say, "I'd love to continue this conversation sometime. Would you be open to exchanging numbers? Or you mentioned liking that new gallery. Maybe we could check it out together next week." By ending on a high and proposing a clear next step, you leave her with a positive memory of the interaction and a clear path forward. It's confident, respectful, and leaves her looking forward to hearing from you. So, let's do a quick recap. Step 1. Use an observational opener based on your shared environment. Step 2. Ask open-ended questions that start with what, how, or why to invite a real response. Step 3. Practice active listening and show genuine curiosity about her answers. Step 4. Share about yourself to create a balanced, two-way conversation. And Step 5. Know when and how to end the conversation on a high note, leaving a great, lasting impression. The beauty of these steps is that they're not a formula. They're a framework for being a more mindful, genuine, and effective communicator in all areas of your life, not just in dating. It's about shifting your mindset from, "What can I say to impress her?" to "How can I genuinely connect with this person?" That's the real secret. It takes practice, so don't be discouraged if it doesn't feel perfect right away. Go out there, be yourself, be kind, and have fun with it. You've got this. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful and that they give you the confidence to start some amazing conversations. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more like it, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to starting a conversation? Let's talk about it. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.